Howdy folks, welcome back to Color TV. This is Color Orange speaking. For the first couple minutes of this Color Talks, I was experiencing audio difficulties. But don't worry, after about a couple minutes it goes back to normal. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. Thanks. The zest of life includes many flavors.
That's what she said.
In order to make a proper dish, you need to include a little bit of everything if you're gonna follow the proper recipe. I did not plan an intro, so I'm going off whatever my head has come to it.
Why is that in your head?
Recipes?
I'm talking about the zest of life, everyone. The zest of life. In order to have a proper life, you must experience the proper zest. And in the proper zest of life, there's many flavors. I think we can all agree there's many flavors in the proper zest. The zest of life. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about the zest of life?
I think they make a cream for that, dude.
No, Renzo. The wrong zest. You have the wrong zest of life. You haven't gone to a doctor yet for your zest. I'm talking about the true zest of life. The zest of life that belongs on chicken. The zest of life that belongs on popcorn. The zest of life that belongs in our hearts.
Oh my god.
I'd rather have it on a pizza.
Help.
You can also have it on a pizza. That intro was completely unbelievable.
Yeah. I didn't want to keep the beginning, but you kept going with it. I liked it.
No.
Fuck. I was just trying to fuck you up, dude. You were into it.
Dedication.
So,
I like zestiness.
So what we're actually talking about is something much more harrowing and traumatizing.
Well, no, this is emotional zest right here.
This is emotional. Yeah, this is the emotional zest. But again, we need that zest. Everyone, in order to have the proper zest for life, you need to have every bit of flavor. You need to have all the flavors, even if it's a flavor you don't like. It makes for the proper zest for life. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about in this episode,
Alright, go ahead.
we're going to be talking about fear. Fear.
What a transition!
Fear is
One of those many zests.
one of those many zests, something that's absolutely necessary to life. If you do not have fear in your life,
Lucky you.
yeah, well, I mean, in a sense, maybe lucky you, but also maybe unlucky you. It could bring you great harm. You could end up like a daredevil, and you might end up dead. You know what? I don't know. I don't know what it's like to end up without fear, because you know what? I have fear. I'm a normal person. I think 99% of the world
I'm a normal boy.
has fear.
The only thing to fear is fear.
If what it manifests itself as, depends on the person, obviously. And I'd like to take a few moments to tell them my tale, if you guys don't mind. So if you guys could join hands with me,
Okay.
spiritually. My zest of life begins when I was a young boy. It manifested itself in middle school. Everyone, Renzo,
Boobs.
join hands again. Don't let go. You were there. I need you. Sorry. Thank you.
Boobs.
I didn't mean to hit you.
I was just grabbing. No, I was grabbing your hand tight, bro.
It manifested itself in middle school. Alongside me was my good friend, one of my closest friends. Dare I say my best friend. I was almost gonna whip out your full ass name. Red.
Hey.
For some reason I can feel you sitting to my left. This is weird. I'm actually kind of getting in the spiritual mood right now.
I feel like a half an hour away from him.
Shut up. They don't know that. Cut that out.
It's okay. I'm right here.
I can feel it. It manifested itself in middle school. We went to school together and we just got off. And we went to the corner across the street. And we sat down where we just hung out, I guess, from time to time. I feel like we just kind of sat there from time to time and just chatted before we went our separate ways.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say that's where we would split off.
Yeah, so we kind of talked, but this day we just decided to sit down, have a quick chat. Over I can't exactly remember what happened, but I think Rento pointed out that there was a ladybug flying towards me, and I screamed at the top of my lungs because it was flying towards me. I was like, "Oh my god!" And again, like just like you might have seen in the last episode, I was a little kid, so this was a banshee scream. This was a ladybug, just like an elephant to a mouse. I screamed at the top of my lungs, mouth wide open. Oh my god! and this kind of leads into my I don't know if this was the day that it took hold or something like that, but this is the day. Sorry, from this day forward. I know that I have since had a fear of flying insects. I always considered it to be somewhat irrational. What I hate about them is there what's the word?
Wings. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what we're talking.
Yeah, wings do be goofy though. No, the uncoordinated flight plan. You don't know where they're gonna go, guys.
The sporadicness.
The sporadicness of their zest for life. It's uncool. I don't understand their government. Okay, bugs with wings should not live.
Oh,
but I will not say that. I will not stand by that because I know they're necessary. I know they feed other bugs. They're very necessary in this life. If they didn't have wings and maybe they were like, walked on the ground, that'd be fine with me. But they fly and they fly in different directions. They and then they might, they run into me. They hit my head. Mosquitoes and flies buzz around my ears. You've heard them. You heard that. You heard it before. You've heard it. You fucking heard it. They're fucking things with wings. Insects with wings. No, that's happened before.
It's happened before,
man.
That's happened to me before. I'm pretty sure I've eaten a few bugs with wings before. I mean, how else would they be up there off the ground? So I was on the ground eating it. I got the straw. I'm an anteater. Yeah, ever since that day, I have a terrible fear of insects with wings. On the opposite note, actually, I do love cicadas. I love the music. I love the music they make. They're really creepy, but I love the music they play. It's absolutely beautiful to me, but they're terrifying. Every insect with wings is terrifying to me.
Oh, dude, this scared the hell out of me once, and I didn't even write that down. That's one of my stories.
I was going for a jog in Japan with my dad, and I was just one flew out of a bush and smacked me in the chest. You would have thought I was an insane person the way I was waving my arms, lifting my legs. I looked like a wacky waving inflatable arms flailing tube man. Like,
that was impressive.
I was like, oh, get it out of me. I kept running behind my dad because I didn't want it to like catch up with me or anything. But like to this day, I love cicadas just because of the beautiful tune they play.
I imagine a bunch of Japanese people just like, white people.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine.
Showing emotion in public.
Honestly. That's kind of one of my tales. Another one is a different kind. And I'm less people in the world have felt this kind of fear before, because I know we all have a certain kind of fear. Some people are scared of clowns. Some people are scared. We all have that one certain type of fear of like, this is a different kind of fear.
Snake
So
coming
one
out of the
time-
toilet into your asshole.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing.
It'll happen.
Yeah, peeing into a river and a parasite flies up your urethra.
Oh, God.
That's a thing. It can happen. Hey, man, I calls it like I season.
That's why I sway side to side, so it's not like a steady stream. So
Yeah, you gotta fan. You gotta fan it out. You gotta fan it
like
out.
sprinkle like.
Ew.
It's fucking awesome. Another fear that I had was a different kind of fear. It was a singular fear at the time, and it changed the way that I eat gumballs. When I was a kid, I went to a gum store. I went to a grocery store with my dad, and he was checking out, and he gave me a couple quarters, and I bought 2 gumballs, and I made the smart decision to put them both in my mouth at the same time. And you can probably imagine what happened. One went down my throat and got lodged, and I could not breathe at all. People were walking past me, but they didn't know that I was panicking, and I was, my face was, I could feel my face turning red, and I was getting, I felt like I was going to die. I mean, I probably knew I wasn't because there was people there. My dad was coming, and I was doing the stereotypical, hands are on your throat, and then my dad, I think he was like, "What's wrong?" He came out up to me. Okay.
You good, dog?
What's up with you? Hey, dude, you good?
Always something with you.
With this kid again.
Attention
Always
whore,
looking for
God.
attention.
Stop putting balls in your mouth. This one.
No, now look, you got what you wanted, huh? I'll see you in the car when you figure this out.
Just find a chair. It'll be fine.
Yeah, sit in the corner, think this one out. But no, obviously a little bit more sincere. He was just like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" Sounding obviously very concerned, guys. And I managed to squeal out an "I can't breathe." I think it just came out more like "can't breathe," but then he just dropped the bags to the floor, and he actually Heimlicked me in the middle of the grocery store, and the gumball was like just bounced. Yeah, I didn't even get the chance to chew that bitch. It just bounced all the way through it, spit flying everywhere and bounced everywhere. Don't remember what happened after that. I just remember the fear that I was living in that moment. I'm sure. Yeah, but that was a whole different thing. That was special. But to this day, I'm actually like, I have a mild fear of eating gumballs, but I'm very, very careful to put them in my cheek and then put them under my my teeth in a certain way, because I'm very scared of choking again, because I have a very vivid memory of that feeling of choking on the gumball. It's terrifying.
No, I think you said that was an irrational. No, you said the fucking other one. The ladybug flying creatures were irrational, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
No,
that one. I feel like the
Very
flying insect is
specific.
irrational. It's kind of, but yeah, I think I feel like choking is just kind of a generalized fear, but it happened. But it did happen to me. So, does anyone else have something? I want to hear someone else's tales, because I know that we all have fears in our lives.
I guess.
Actually, you know what? There was, I'm so sorry.
Jesus.
I know how you love being interrupted, so I wanted to take this opportunity. Have we ever we've run from the cops before, Red, right?
I would never.
Okay, then yeah. That time, the first time we did that was also really scary. Very exciting after the fact. Go ahead. I'm done.
Okay. So, I mean, just like yours, it's not necessarily like I'm not specific to flying bugs. I just hate all bugs. I don't care what they do for this world and everything like that. Just bugs. I hate bugs. I see a spider, I scream. I literally scream, and I can't breathe. Like, it's like terrible. And then centipedes. Oh my God, Blue! When you were talking about that the other day, I just remember this one time I was gonna take a shower when I was I think 12, and I like looked down and there was like 2 centipedes, and I screamed bloody murder because I was so scared. I'd never seen them before, and I just like I was like screaming for my mom, and my mom like runs in and she looks at me and she's like, "Really?" And she grabs a tissue and like cleans them up, and I'm like, it's so terrible. But that is like my main thing, is just bugs in general. It's not limited. And I mean, that's my main fear. My second one is actually heights. But that one, you really can't tell because like I love roller coasters. When I go to like a high building or something, I have to look over the edge. I don't know why. Like
Okay, so it's like
That sounds
uncontrolled,
very
right?
selective.
I know. No,
How do
I
you feel
know.
about
There-
They're on a
there's
cliff.
something about that feeling. Like I'm scared of heights too, but I love that feeling of that
Yeah.
of that
I don't know if
afraidness
it's
it
the
gives you.
adrenaline.
Yeah,
Is it
dude.
the adrenaline maybe? Like I don't know
Um,
what it is, but I have to like I'm drawn
Yeah.
to be like looking over the edge.
Yeah, that's why I used to jump
That's
off
what
roofs.
How do you feel about Ferris wheels? Like when you go on
I
a
don't like
Ferris
when they
wheel.
stop. I don't like
Okay.
when they stop.
As soon as they stop, she starts screaming. Ah!
Yeah. I mean, we went to Chicago. What's that? I don't know what that Ferris wheel is called, but there's like that one that you can like sit in and they always like stop and I'm like sitting there like hyperventilating with my friend like this is so pretty, can we keep going? Like this is beautiful. I can't breathe. But yeah, I do for some reason I know I'm scared of heights, but I even on planes I have to sit at like by the window to look outside. I don't know if I want to watch my impeding death or something either. Like I don't know what it is. But
There is
that
something
is-
more comfortable about that than actually knowing when you'll die. I don't know like
Yeah.
about the plane. Like I'd rather sit in the window and know when it's gonna happen.
yeah. Yeah.
If it is gonna happen, I know that the actual chances of you dying in a plane are so catastrophically are so astronomically low.
They really are. And it depends on where you're sitting in the plane. I like to sit in the middle. I don't like being in the back.
I like sitting.
I
in
like
the
to
exit
sit in the
because
middle.
it's extra
if
leg room.
if the plane was gonna go down like 100%, nothing like was gonna change it, I would run straight to the cockpit and like just fuck around, hit all the buttons just before I die, so I can see what it was like in there.
Playing pilot, motherfucker.
I think statistically
Oh.
speaking, sitting in the back of the plane is the best for And it
The
can-
middle.
the middle. Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the crash, but most of the middle is the safest. The front
If
and
you-
all the way in the back are
If
the
you
worst.
look at like planes in the past that have gone down and everything, usually the middle is pretty suffice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I was actually
There
just
was,
looking at the different plane crashes and stuff like that online.
I believe there was a.
You could ask.
and
because,
you
like, I
are
used to-
on a list.
I know, because I used to be very terrified of airplanes. I still have never been on a plane, but like I'll go on one now. I might freak out a little bit, but I'll still do it. But like when I was younger, I was like, I'll never get on a plane or a boat on the ocean kind of thing.
Did you see that a country actually crashed a plane? No one was in it, or I don't know who was piloting it, but they like ran a real life simulation of a plane crash.
Yes,
Yeah, you
yes,
saw
I
that.
saw that. That's what
Yeah.
led me down the rabbit hole. Actually,
That's funny.
I did not see that. That sounds
Yeah.
terrible.
The cockpit got fucked, but everything else
Yeah,
was
it did.
fine.
looks
So-
like my dick, dude.
Oh,
It just
oh,
exploded.
oh, Jesus.
Oh fuck. Okay.
I
Okay.
Speaking of
I do
irrational
remember-
fears, oh man.
I don't have a fear, like I don't have a fear of airplanes, and I never really have. But I do remember my first time going alone on an airplane. There was this old lady who was sitting next to me, and she was talking about. I always fly American, so she was talking about American Airlines, and she just goes, "Yeah, I remember one time I was on American Airlines and the engine started on fire as we were in the air. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen this time." And I just like look at her like, "Oh my god, you did not just say that." Like,
No,
you
that's-
never talk about that stuff before you go on a flight. You don't
Nah.
talk about that.
There's
That's
like
a rude
three
thing to
things.
say.
There's three things you don't say in an airport, and it's bombs and plane crashes.
Yeah.
And the other one is
like-
COVID.
Yeah, that too. Other than those two fears, I'm not scared of anything else. I guess the ocean. Like, thinking
Ocean
about
is
the
definitely-
ocean and being stranded in the ocean. Ugh. I'm not even scared of like drowning or anything like that. I'm just, because I know how to swim. But just like stranded in the middle of this deep, dark ocean. And some creature we've never discovered before is gonna just come pop up and eat me. Like, that's automatically the first thought to my head.
Yeah,
You've
Next
seen
color
the
theory.
TikToks, right?
Mermaids.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, the
Sirens.
yeah, no, I mean those ones, but I mean like the gigantic fish that come out of the background of the
Yes.
like that. Oh my
Yeah,
god, like
maybe
it's on
like
my tiny
swallow.
little phone, but I just feel like the sense of dread just like
Yeah.
overwhelmingly take over my body.
Ooh. Another thing on heights that I don't know if you guys experience it or not, but in games, when I'm jumping off of a building, my stomach, like, I feel like I'm like on a roller coaster. I don't know, like when your stomach like goes like up, or like you just feel it like, whoo, like you get butterflies or something. That happens to me every time I jump off a building in games.
Nope,
So I don't know.
can't say, dude. I always get excited when I jump off of high heights. Because it makes me feel more powerful. Like if I could survive this, then I'm fucking amazing at this game.
I didn't know if I was like the only one or not. It's just a really weird feeling when I do that.
Well, actually,
mainly
like
in
like
Fortnite, I do.
okay, like because the one game that actually I remember that kind of made me have that feeling was Assassin's Creed. Because they like when you do that,
Yeah.
The leap of faith.
because when you do that, yeah, when you do the leap of faith, it kind of like pans the camera out just a little bit, and then it, I don't know, there's something about it that just kind of, yeah, I mean,
definitely think
you know you're gonna
like-
make it, but like you're kind of like, whoa, like
Yeah.
it takes you out of yourself just a little bit. Like so I kind of get that.
I think that also like first person to third person point of view matters too, because Call of Duty doesn't happen that much, but on Fortnite, Raft, yeah, that was pretty intense. Jumping from like the top of the crane all the way down was pretty nuts.
I didn't. Oh yeah, okay.
So those are my three. I can't really think of anything else, and I don't feel like mine are irrational. I feel like those are all like typical ones. To be quite honest, I don't think they're weird.
Like in
I
other
feel-
words, basic. No,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, yeah.
I'm just
yeah, but like, I mean, yeah, those are like some pretty common fears: heights and the deep blue
Yeah.
and shit like
Bugs.
that. I have bugs, dude. I'm like, I'm scared of no man, but a bee comes at me and I'm running away like a little bitch, 10 out of 10 times. Like, I swear to God.
I felt that, bro. Felt that.
Yeah.
Bless.
Bless. Like, ladybugs, they're pretty cool, so I ain't tripping about them. But I tell you what, a bee comes at me, man, I'm running away. I think it's partially because
You
I
got
was like,
bit?
I don't know if I'm
What'd you say?
allergic.
Yeah, I got bit.
By a
Oh
ladybug?
yeah, the males bite.
Do they really?
Ladybugs
Yeah.
can bite?
Didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Great.
I guess in my situation, I was more thinking of a moment that I was like terrified, and the one that like really came to mind, and that was when Paranormal Activity, the first one, came out, and like I feel like not everyone knew if it was real or not, so I was terrified. Like, I literally walked to my house and someone scared the shit out of me, and that was the first time I pretty much like jumped 5 feet in the air, just like petrified. I couldn't sleep that night. I was afraid to fucking hang my foot off my bed or the couch or wherever I was sitting, and that was a rough night. So I guess like,
I mean, we've had those moments as well, though, right?
yeah, I guess like ghosts and like some type of Paranormal Activity would definitely, because like no matter how, like, I always feel like ghosts and stuff like that is real. So no matter how much, you can't fight that off. Like, that's just is what's there. Like, a recent thing I just discovered is like videos of like the security guard who's patrolling some like cemetery or some shit, and like lights and banging noises, and at one point like a voice in the background yelling like, "Get out!" Like, whether it's real or not, like that shit I feel does happen, and that's any type of movie like that, or any scary situation. Like, there's a place in our hometown where like we can go and explore an insane asylum and experience all the hauntings and stuff, and that while that sounds cool,
From that birthday.
see, there it is, and like while that's cool and all, like it's there's a part of me like I'd walk away from that with like chills, and I'm looking over my shoulder all the time, and every noise or bump I hear is like, what the fuck was that? What's going on? Like, you know, you start like seeing shadows. You're like walking downstairs or whatever, walking through a hall, and there's like a weird shadow, and you're like, what the fuck is that? Like, you start panicking a little bit. So
I'm terribly fascinated with paranormal stuff, so that is why I'm comfortable doing it. It's not for everybody. I'm more curious than scared of it, I guess. Which, I mean, it is what it is, but I have had my own experiences, so it's just kind of natural. But I get it. I think my friend Selena, she's also, ever since Paranormal Activity, because I remember when we watched it, I kind of sat there like, this is so stupid or whatever, and she's sitting there like holding her blanket up to her face, and she's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I
was the one holding the blanket to my face. It's like, I'm curious too, like I'd love to go like experience that stuff, but I'm still gonna walk away a little shaken. Like I go experience a graveyard in the middle of the night, I'm gonna be like I said, just checking my shoulders and weirded out, but I'm also not gonna say no. What happened?
Oh no, yeah, I mean for sure, man. Because if you're gonna go into those creepy situations, you're gonna come out feeling the creeps.
Yeah.
That's only natural, bro. That's what we call fear. It's part of the zest of life. it's natural.
Always
That's
bringing
Gabe's
it
little
back.
recipe.
That's part of Gabe's recipe.
Who?
Yeah.
That's part of green beans recipe.
I like a little scare.
That's how
Gets
you
me
make green beans.
going.
Well, yeah, it's gotta get a little fear. You got a little scaredy beardy gets him going. Little paranormal fear gets green bean going.
Gravy.
Put some paranormal gravy on my rice and beans. I don't fucking know. Shit. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, you know what? Tune in next month for when Color TV goes ghost hunting at an abandoned fucking facility. I'm gonna hold on to this episode for months until we actually decide to go fucking.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh, we're going next month. All right, I'll upload that one Color Talks now.
I call being a cameraman. They can see all the weird shit.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh, who's that? And you'll do the Stan Marsh. You'll do the Stan Marsh thing. You're like, I'm so startled.
Well, I was like green, and I kind of have like moments where I felt terrified. We were talking about bugs earlier. I totally forgot about it, but I actually have this weird fear when I would grab like a box of rice or a box of cereal, that like when I pour out of it, bugs would come out, because that happened when I was 4 years old one time.
Shut up, really?
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of earwigs and stuff, and it freaked me out since then, and so I always check. And I don't keep stuff in my cupboards for that long, for like that's one of the main reasons. And that hasn't happened to me since until about a year ago, where it happened here.
God.
Yeah. You know, a box of rice that I kept in there. It was a few bugs, and it grossed me out. I took everything out. I cleaned the whole cupboard and all that stuff. And so now, I get the plastic, like big containers where you can put a seal on it. You know, and it's all good. What?
Where?
Oh. You call him a whore?
I said Tupperware.
Oh, Tupperware. I thought you were like a whore. I was like, oh, like shit. If you own Tupperware, you're a whore.
But yeah, but like
caught him a Tupperware.
That's always freaked me out, and thankfully that hasn't happened until last year. But I was like, oh man, never again. But yeah, I have 3. The first one was when we were teenagers. It was actually me and Blue and 2 other guys, and it was towards the end of winter. It was like January, February, that kind of thing, and we were by the river, and the river is usually frozen over, but this time it had a hole in the middle of it, and we were just fucking around. We started throwing rocks. We're trying to see the first person to get inside the hole, but we were all fucking missing and shit. It was bad. And it got to the point where I was like, I want to be the, I get a little competitive. I was like, I want to be the first one to get in there. So I go on the river cheating, so I can like throw a rock right in there. and I walk right up to the hole, and right when I was about to throw, I fall right through it. Like it cracked open. And as I fall through, I caught the edge of the hole, and I just remember being so scared because the water was just gushing underneath and it was pulling me, and the only thing above was my hands, you know, on the edge. I had to pull myself out, and as soon as my head came above the water, I can hear Blue and the guys yelling, and I, you know, took everything I had just to pull myself out. And
So mad at you.
My dad used to yell at me all the time about going on the ice. We used to do it all the time when we were kids, you know. He's like, "You're gonna fall through, and that's how people die." And I was like, "Yeah, but you know, when you're young, he's like, oh, it's not gonna happen to me," kind of thing, until you know, it happened to me. And I remember I got to, you know, to the guys, and they're asking if I was okay. I was like, "Yeah, man, I gotta go home." We rode our bikes. I'm riding home on a bike, soaking wet at the end of winter. And actually, I remember when I got home, and you know, I walk in, I'm soaking wet, it's still winter. And my dad's like, "What happened to you?" I was, you know, I didn't want to get in trouble for going on the ice. I was like, "Oh, we had a water balloon fight at Blue's house," and he's like, "Oh," and he just went back to his thing. And I just like went and took
we
a
were at
shower
the water
and stuff.
park.
But that was scary. And then another time I had Blue was there again. It was when I believe I told the story during other color talks, but this was the night before I was moving, and it was me, Blue, and this girl. And I just got done doing the dishes. You know, everything's packed up. We just had like the living room, and I did the dishes because it would dry off, and then we're gonna put them away. And they had my cabinet was like a U, and the end of the U, that's where the sink was, and then it was open, right? There's nothing around there. And I did the dishes, and I was in the living room, me, Blue, and the girl. And we were watching a movie or whatever, and we're the only ones home. And all of a sudden, you just hear a loud crash in the kitchen, and we're like, "What the hell?" And I go in there and turn on the light, and all the clean dishes that were on the edge of the counter were flown against the wall on the other side of the room, and they were broken. And to this day, still don't know what the hell, you know, did it. And I like to problem solve. I like to find an explanation, but I don't know what the hell happened, and that has freaked me out ever since. You know, because I can't explain that. And that was just a weird thing. That's one thing I hold on to believe in, something like supernatural, anything, because I can't. There's no logical explanation for that. For those dishes to be flown across the fucking room.
I don't like your zest of life.
Oh, it gets real, bro. And but this one's even more real. You bring it down a little bit. This was really weird. You know, when I found out I was gonna have my son, that was right, you know, senior year of high school. That's when I started working and doing all that stuff, doing what I need to do to make a life. And one of the first jobs I had, not the very first one, but still in that first year, was landscaping. And I really liked that, but I didn't like the work environment or the people I worked with. And it really made me start to hate going to work, you know, that kind of thing. But I was doing that, and it was okay money. I mean, really, it was like $10.50. But like back then, I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude! It was, you know, more than I was making at McDonald's and shit. And I was just about to move into this new place. It was crappy slumlords that my dad went through and whatnot, and I hated them. They were awful people. But you know, I knew them, so I was able to, you know, get a deal in the house and stuff like that. And I was about to move in, and it was okay and stuff, but I started freaking out because I was like, oh man, I hate this job. I never rented from a place, so I was freaked out by that. And I was like, if I go here, I'm never gonna be able to leave this job, and I'm just gonna hate my life. And I was freaking out, and I was just terrified of everything that was going on. And so at the last moment, like within like last week, I backed out. I was like, no, I can't do that. And I already put like money down and stuff, and they kept it. They're like, oh, you can't do that, so we keep it the money. And I was like, I don't care. I don't want to do that. I quit my job. I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend. I was like, oh no. I was like, it's not what I wanted with my life. And you know, so I changed it. But like for that short period of time, I was just terrified of everything.
Can we just acknowledge that Red, who is Mexican, was a landscaper?
Oh man, it was fun too. Yeah, I worked with my cousin's Mexican family.
Oh my
You-
god.
They don't-
That was
You-
your
for a
destiny,
second
dog.
there, you legit for a second there sounded like a YouTube video at 1.25 times speed. Like you
That was
just sounded
remarkable.
sped up. You got really into the fucking.
Oh,
you got-
dude, yeah, I
got
feel
heated
I feel
there, like-
anxious, bro.
I legit
just-
thought I did something
wanted
to
to
make
get
you
through it.
talk faster because I thought the same exact thing. I was like, "What
Dude,
two
no,
times did I fucking
Oh,
hit?"
No, dude. No, I was like going back in time, you know, feeling it and like.
He just
So
Yeah, I think that's what I said
Red
last
Sphere
year.
is life, which is relatable. Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, it was just like I didn't know any of that stuff, and and
Yeah.
it freaked me out. And then just quick after, I always think I'm gonna go crazy, and like, how do you know if you're crazy and all that stuff? But that's a different time. That's another thing I'm scared of.
Going crazy.
Oh yeah, same old, same old.
That last story read is something I didn't know about. That you were terrified of like future and shit like that.
Yeah, it was something I've never really shared before, but yeah, it really freaked me out,
Realistic.
dude. What about you, Blue?
I ain't terrified of nothing.
You can't pull the same trick from
Oh, yeah?
the last video.
Oh yeah,
he's a big
Slap back.
strong boy.
slap bet. No.
No, I mean I have a.
I'll
small
make you
irrational
scared
fear.
of something, bitch.
I mean I have a small irrational fear. I mean like obviously bugs kind of creep me out. I just punched a centipede the other day. I'm not like terrified of it. Like I'll touch it with my fists.
Yeah, you're terrified.
Makes a
Bro. We literally were
disclosure.
just talking about how you had your first centipede over 2 years, and you can't wait to get out of your slum hole of a fucking house because it's crawling with centipedes. Oh no, you have so many centipedes. You hate it. It's so disgusting. There, you had one centipede in 2 years, and it ruined the idea of that place for you. I know that's
legit
not the
punched
only
it,
thing.
too.
I know it's not the only thing, but you can't tell me that you don't hate fucking centipedes with a passion because you're scared of them. And like
Okay.
whether or not you can admit it, you are scared of them, Dylan. The little boy inside of you is scared of all those legs crawling on you. Just admit it.
I am scared of centipedes for the fact that if I don't know where they are, that's what terrifies me. If I have it in a controlled area, then I'm like, okay, like they're not that bad. But for the fact that they're gonna run away and fucking be somewhere that I don't know where the fuck they are, that's scary.
Everyone knows you gotta look up, because that's when they drop
But-
on you.
Anybody else look up? I sure as hell did.
Does everyone know that, Red? Because I didn't know to look up.
Yeah, you look up. That
Well,
was
actually-
Son of a bitch.
Because I know they like to occupy my Wall Street. Because I know because I know they like to occupy my apartment. I before I get in the bathroom, before I get in the shower rather, I don't want centipedes on my naked body.
You
So
announce
I
yourself.
will look over the entire shower. And I'll open the curtains wide open, and then I'll I'll look up, just like Blue said, and then I'll look all around, and I'll look down, just like the mistake that Ashley made when she was a child.
Y'all ever had a bug on you while in the shower?
Yeah.
No. That is like a fear that I have. Actually,
No.
that is like a
Spider.
mild fear that I have.
Dude,
Of like a centipede or something falling on me while I'm in the shower.
I was in the shower one time and a fly was on me, and I lost my mind because I'm like, first off, how?
Who the fuck?
Why?
You think you are?
And
What
yeah,
gave you
like,
the right?
what is going on here? How are you just gonna fly in water and just cling to my body while you gasp for life? So that was an interesting experience, but I digress.
Oh, you do digress. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Dylan, please continue.
Right. So, I'm afraid of bugs. I'm afraid of using public bathrooms or other bathrooms that aren't mine. I like pooping
Yeah,
in my
you do.
face. I like my potty. But one time
What-
I was
Which Blue? I'm sorry.
Let's just skip over this. This is a big part of you, bro.
No, yeah. No, this is huge. We all need to give a round of applause for our friend Blue here. He used the toilet at his old job. That's like the first time he's used an out-of-home potty in his entire
dog.
26
I
years
had
of
to
life.
shit.
Hey,
Like,
doesn't matter the reason, man.
If I
You
didn't
did
use
it.
that bathroom.
You'll
dog,
hold
if I
it
didn't
all
use that
day
bathroom,
without.
Yep.
I will literally hold it for 2 days
Yes.
straight if I do not have options.
Yeah, but you know what? The world is proud of you. I just can't believe you've never had like diarrhea or something, man. Because
That
Like-
would have been the day. The day I used the bathroom at my old work, I probably would have shit myself if I did not go. That's the only reason I went. Frankly, if I didn't need the money at the time, I probably would have fucking went home, or probably shit myself then went home before I used that damn bathroom. Anyways, one instance I had at my old job. I used to be a painter. I used to paint wind towers. The place used to manufacture the wind towers. They came in on their side, and then we painted them. The wind towers laid on their side on it's called a trunnion. It rotates the section of the wind tower. So we had to do so we had to do prep work for it, and there was some fucking drama happening. I don't know, so I walked away. The tower was in a baking process, so it was like 140 degrees in the booth. It was dark as hell, loud as hell. So everybody who was out there, if I yelled, which I did, nobody would have heard me. So when I was angry, so I went in there. I was like, "Fuck, I want to be proactive and do some work." I started doing it while the section was rotating, and part of the tower hooked my pants and started taking me with it, and it got my legs stuck between a 4 fucking ton section of a fucking wind tower. And it was taking me with it. It was crushing my leg, and there was I was screaming top of my lungs. I was like, I'm not afraid of death. I mean, I guess I kind of am, for the fact that I was terrified at that moment. Actually getting shakes right now. Get back about it. That's fucking traumatizing. So it started taking my leg, and I was going around, and I was stuck underneath a ladder that was attached to it, so it did not move, and then the wind tower that was rotating. And it was taking me, and it was either get my leg crushed, break my femur, get my leg torn off, all that stuff, or yank my leg as hard as I possibly fucking could. Because if it would have taken me more, it would have probably caught an artery, and then I would have bled out in a booth that's 140 degrees, that was loud, dark, and nobody would have came in for another hour and a half because it was still baking. So it was a terrifying thought process, because 1,000 miles per minute your mind goes when shit like that happens. So I was thinking, like, fuck, no one's gonna find me, fuck. So I'm screaming, and then I was just like, fuck. So I yanked my leg as hard as I possibly could, and I fell on the floor. I was about 3 feet up, fell on the floor, and I was laying there in fucking agony, because my leg was, I got a pretty fucking thick leg, and it was in between like a fucking 4-inch fucking gap. And I started crawling, and I got up, started limping, and everybody was out there just on their phone, shooting the shit and everything. And I was just like, guys, I'm fucking hurt. And then everyone was like, huh. And then I was just like, no, I'm being serious. And I was so scared, I actually pulled down my pants and to check my leg, and it was somewhat bleeding. It was instantly bruised, like black, blue, fucking purple. It was instantly fucking bruised. So then my lead, which is a good friend of mine, he was like, oh fuck, and then we started going to the office and everything, and then fucking my fucking supervisor was just like, oh yeah, we gotta fill out an accident report. I was like, bitch, I thought I was gonna die. Fuck you. I'm not filling out an accident report right now. I'm going the fuck home. I couldn't walk. My leg was like consistently shaking. I couldn't stop it. I was so I called my parents. It was like, I don't know, like o'clock PM or some shit. So they were like just like getting ready for dinner. Anyway, so I called them. I was like, you gotta pick me up, blah blah blah. And they picked me up, and I like calmed down a little bit. I got in the car, closed the door, we started driving. It was just me and my dad. I've never cried like that. I sobbed. I was just like, I was fucking terrified. Like, oh, I'm not afraid of death. That was, I came to death, and that was beyond fucking terrifying. And
Bro, did you say you came to death?
Came on death. Straight on him.
Came to death.
As in
Hey
you came
man,
here.
the way you treated him like that, hell yeah, you came on death, bro.
Straight big dictum. You were like, you ain't
And,
shit.
I fucking limped to my apartment, laid in bed, couldn't fucking move. And then I thought I was okay, but the next day, like I tried to get up to piss or some shit. I could not walk. I like got out of bed, fell on the floor. And so I called my roommate Justin. I was just like, hey, man, you gotta call somebody. I gotta go to the fucking doctor or some shit. To the doctor, and I was just like, can I get like a X-ray, CAT scan or something? I think I got nerve damage, blah blah blah. It literally just pretty much gave me crutches, told me to get the fuck out. I was just like, all right, dude. Some pretty gnarly pictures too. I mean, you guys probably seen them, right?
I
Yep.
seen to your leg, man. That shit scared me when you told me.
That shit was fucking terrifying. So, yeah, that's something I'd rather not do in my life again. I'd rather be crawled on by like 7 centipedes. Do that shit again.
Shit. I mean, hey,
Okay.
you know what? I think your zest for life got me by a little bit. Fuck. Yeah, that shit was terrifying when you told me that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, near-death experience. That'll do it for you.
That'll do her.
Especially like I think about that, like the garbage. Like we have dumpsters at our work, and they are the ones like where they push, like they'll push all the shit into the dumpster or whatever and squish it.
Oh
And I think about that all the time. About like my arm got stuck in here and somehow this button got pushed. Like there's safety measures, so like I'll be fine, but it's still like a terrifying thought. And for that to like you to legitimately come close to that is, yeah, that's fucking horrifying, man. So
Dude, if Luke Skywalker can make it in fucking Star Wars, I can make it in real life, no problem.
bro, if those younglings could have made it, damn shame.
They did it, man.
No, they didn't. So they felt what you didn't feel.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. It's like we're on like episode 54. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry
I
about it.
haven't seen it.
Episode 9 just came out a while back, you know.
The younglings all die. End of story. The end. That's all you need to know. Execute Order 66.
You know, that's my greatest fear. Execute Order 66. If you're on the wrong team, game over, man.
Game over. The Jedi looks back and just
The
So,
droid Deka were useless. Don't forget. Okay. Is that everyone?
I think we went through everyone there.
Everyone, that's good.
Expressed their
That's good.
fears. Send on a strong note. Thanks for tuning in to Color Talks, y'all. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and all the good stuff. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.